This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
And welcome back to Off the Break Podcast. I know you enjoyed that short little interlude before for our first morning
It was
podcast.
like 31 minutes. It's like the shortest one ever for three of us being together.
Yeah.
I was worried what you were talking about. I was like, we have an interlude?
Yeah,
when did that happen?
Today we did.
Today, okay.
We had
From that last
intermission.
It was like so
podcast,
long
right.
ago already.
I went and got lunch, and now we're back.
Yep. And a haircut, too. It looks nice, by the way.
Thank
It
you.
does.
Yeah.
Thank
It
you.
does.
I really struggled with my hair, and
Tell
I'm
me
just
about
gonna
it.
give it up. I'm just letting my notions of like hair from my 20s die away.
No.
I'm taking on mom hair now.
Right.
It's just what happens.
It's life. I
It is.
understand.
You haven't made it to the can I speak to the manager stage yet, though.
When I was pregnant
Oh, no.
with one of my babies, I went to go get just like some layers of my hair, and she gave me one of those like Goslin like speak to the manager
Oh,
A-line
yeah,
cuts
yeah.
where it was like really short and like oh my gosh.
Done.
I was like, oh no. I was so upset, but I was so pregnant. I was like, I can't do anything about it. At least
I'll just ride it out.
it's easy to care for now.
Yeah.
I was so pregnant.
It was huge, and then I cried. It was the worst haircut I've ever had.
And then you have to speak
Jeez.
to the manager, and then it really worked.
Yeah, then it was like, oh no, it's coming to fruition.
Yeah, you don't even have to say anything. They can just sense it.
They're like, we know. We'll bring them in.
Yeah. So this one's not too bad.
Good.
Just in time for CinemaCon.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Like
about to head over.
Yeah.
It's like a couple weeks?
Yeah, not next week. A week from Monday, I should say.
A week after next.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it won't be too weird with that whole Disney-Fox merger thing.
Oh, it's gonna be super
happened.
awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's our first big news story of the day.
Yep.
It
First-
happened.
First news story of the day.
Finally.
The Fox Disney merger has finally come to fruition. It is done and closed, and Disney now owns all of Fox's assets except for Fox News and Sports and some TV broadcasting.
I think they don't own FX, right?
They do.
Or they do? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all of it.
Yeah, I'm seeing little things trickle out here and there, like they shut down the Fox 2000
Label. Which
wow, that's a bit
is-
surprising.
It's a little surprising. I was always kind of confused by the Fox 2000 label because it didn't have a clear directive, but it came out some really good films like Fault in Our Stars came out of that.
Love Simon. They did a lot of
Life of Pi.
They did a lot of the more mid-budget, mid-high budget movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Not quite the tent poles, but
There's already been Fox employees coming out and talking about how it's terrible the way the layoffs are happening and that, it's happening like immediately without really any...
it's like,
Well,
okay, paperwork's finalized.
yeah.
Pack your
yeah,
things and get out.
and it's all a business and that's the way things work, but it's also sad because there was good
Right.
people working at Fox too. We hope that they can land on their feet.
Yep. I know some high level executives have been let go, but that like they knew ahead of time. This isn't just like, oh, day one, bam, you're gone. Like they had
Yeah.
to have known, and there was
The
probably a
higher-ups knew.
plan.
I think the higher ups knew. It's whether the people below them knew exactly who was going to be let go.
Yeah. And, I'd like to stress that we don't know anything about anybody's job, or we're not hearing anything. And we're just kind of taking it one day at a time
Yeah.
as the rest of the industry is taking it.
Yeah, and our site's going to be updating on whatever changes may come. If we have to switch stuff over from Fox to Disney, then
Right.
once we hear about it, then we'll go ahead and do that. So our site's
Yeah.
always going to be updating when it comes to that type
Yep.
of stuff.
And we'll try to be really good too about letting everybody know, who to pay. Like, do we pay Fox still? Do we make the checks out to
Yeah, that's
them?
gonna
Do we
be
make it
weird.
out to Disney
Right, you
now?
got to tell the theater owners.
Yeah. I don't know who to pay. You
Jeez.
just, is it business as usual? What's going to be the first film that makes the transition? So a lot of those questions haven't been answered yet. And we'll just let people know. We probably won't find out for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So it's probably just business as normal until, they
It's
keep,
not.
Yeah.
until we hear more changes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, props to Disney though. Like they have more stuff to have, and whether it comes to theaters or not, like they just have more properties, and they're going to keep expanding themselves. So again, it's all
And slowly consume everything.
and slowly consume everything. But it's all a business. Like that's just a matter of how things are done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not unheard of to have consolidation in the media industry. And for a time, there were only a couple studios that controlled most everything. I think we're going to see the emergence of that again. And what's interesting is that's kind of how the industry started.
Yeah.
And then
like the big five or something.
And that's what really started antitrust legislation in this country was, some Hollywood and the media giants owning all the means of production and distribution. But now they're kind of going back to that a little bit, that model, but with the direct to consumer streaming. And I wonder if that's going to be the way, like 100 years later, they get back to their
full
roots.
Circle, history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Just with a different sheen.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. This is definitely the era of big corporate media giants for sure now.
Yeah,
seems like
definitely.
that's all we've known, but now it's like
so
it's
apparent.
beating you over the head.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, it's hard to tell what this is going to look like down the road, what happens from here. But
Right.
it's done. It was announced a year ago, over a year ago.
We've been following it for a while now.
It's just one of those things it's a big deal, but you don't really know how to think about it or how to because it's so businessy. I feel like behind closed doors kind of.
I feel like that's what happened on Wednesday, because Wednesday was when they were like, it's completed, it's done, it's finalized, but no one was really talking about it. Like, no one
it's
really
how do you
out,
talk about it?
Yeah, no one really came out and, wrote opinion articles about it.
I'm sure
or,
you can
wrote
speculate.
information on, what's going on with the deal currently. Like, no one knows, and no one knows how to talk about it.
I feel like collectively the industry is just holding our breath until we see some action.
Honestly,
happen.
we were too, because
what are some
right when it happened, we were like, should we mention something? Should we? I don't.
Nobody
what
else
do we do?
is.
Right.
What do we do?
What do we say?
What do we say?
What are some potential scenarios we could expect like in the next few years? Like how other than like, oh man, Marvel gets X-Men back, none of that stuff. What like
well, I
industry wide, like movie content wise, what can we expect?
I think it's going to be a really difficult thing to guess on, because we don't know how streaming is going to play a role in this.
Yeah.
And so I can't speculate what content Disney's going to have, because in my mind, some of the smaller stuff that Fox did and greenlit may just go to streaming. We may never see it in distribution in theaters.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
So until we kind of know
I just keep forgetting about that streaming service.
Yeah.
It's like the second leg of this big Disney master plan.
And that's going to, and it's not just Disney. I just want to tell everybody, Warner's is going to have a streaming. AT&T,
yeah, that's right.
Warner's, AT&T has bought Warner Brothers, Time Warner, which owned Warner Brothers, and that's going to be a huge streaming service with implications. And Warner has one of the most diverse slates out there and one of the most abundant slates. And I think that's going to have a huge impact, because everybody's used to Disney having less than 10 films a year. No one is used
until
to
like this year.
Yeah. This year is weird because they have so many, not including Fox content, just them themselves they stepped it up this year. But beyond that, I'm more concerned about what's going to happen with Warner's and their slate. Like, I am used to the 20 films or something. Well, if they go to 10 and Disney has less than 10, and then you've got Universal,
it's like kind of less movies all around.
Yeah, you are going to have less movies on the theatrical side, and I think, wasn't a problem 20, 30 years ago when movie theaters were small, but now that we have these huge megaplexes, you're just not going to have enough movies to fill the screens. Like, it's going to have such an impact. The less product that you have to fill your theater on the theater size.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy.
But I hope it opens up opportunities for alternative content and smaller distributors.
I'm sure.
It's just that those
fingers crossed
types of media are so hard to market. I mean, it's one thing when you have Disney and Aladdin and everybody knows about it. It's going to be so much harder. Like we talked about in our earlier podcast with United Artists releasing Booksmart. Like, I worry that audiences are going to miss out on it theatrically just because they don't know.
Now that happens so much.
And that's going to be
working here. I always forget
challenge.
that most people aren't reading and absorbing film industry news all day every day. It's like, yeah, of course I'm up to date on every single movie from every single studio for 5 years from now.
And you're not.
What?
You don't know about these things? I knew a lot of people who own theaters didn't know about the Disney Fox merger. I'm like, you don't know about
That's
this? This is a
scary.
huge thing in our industry that's going to vastly change
Yeah.
theatrical distribution.
And it's also been a thing
unaware.
for a year.
Yeah.
That's always scary too. It's just the lack of knowledge.
So that'll be,
We'll see.
That's what we're here
Crazy.
for, though.
Hopefully Disney knows what they're doing.
I think
Well, they know what they're doing. It's just
it should be
how
okay.
how are other studios going to
Yeah.
handle
Just be careful what you wish for, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
too much power can be a bad thing.
Disney's
Disney
not-
doesn't have too much power by now. I don't know.
I don't know. They don't have so much power that they couldn't grovel back to James Gunn.
I know, that's what I was going for. That's
zing!
the segue I was working towards.
Yeah.
So yeah, on a lighter, more not as cryptic kind of hanging over our heads note, Disney has rehired James Gunn for
What?
Guardians of the Galaxy
A
Volume
surprise.
3.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I can't. I still am baffled that they actually went back to
Well,
him.
the only thing that makes sense to me is because obviously after that whole controversy, James Gunn had a lot of vocal support from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like right when the
Yeah.
news broke, there was tons of people that immediately flocked to his side. There was that
Yeah.
whole petition that the cast of the Guardians films came up with and signed. So he had a strong following, and so I feel like Disney was going around and
I think
they were desperately looking for anybody that wasn't James Gunn. Like, can you please, please direct this?
I mean, when the directors that they ask say no because that's James Gunn's project,
Yeah.
like that's high support for the guy.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it just spoke volumes to how he was really tarnished by what we call internet trolls out there.
Yeah.
But that it really
it was an
didn't.
alt-right group, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
that's how it initially broke.
Yeah.
but it didn't really speak to the person he was.
True.
And I think that came out as in the way he handled it afterwards, how he went off social media, even though you could see any of his Facebook posts from the last year before this happened. And he was
Yeah.
always very supportive, very nice, very
The kindest person out there.
to people that were even trashing his films. To them, he would respond to them and say, like, no, this is not how it is. Like he's
very cordial, very.
he is so connected to his audience, way more so than I would think I could think of any director. I can't think of anybody else that actually engaged via social media with their audience.
That's true. I think he's one of the best at doing it.
And to have that guy be thrown under the bus over stuff that was so old and obviously not who he was, like it was just so obvious. I'm just so glad that this wrong was righted.
Well,
Yeah.
the crazy part of this story is that apparently they came to terms and decided to rehire him like months ago, like a month or two ago or something. But
Oh,
they
really?
decided to wait on the announcement of it, and I just find it fascinating that they were able to hide this big news for so long. I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but it is pretty amazing that they were able to. But I'm happy that they did. It was such a great surprise.
Right.
Yeah, I just imagine everybody, because in the Marvel movies, the two Guardians films and just the characters themselves have always kind of stood out in a different way.
Yeah,
than the
they
other
were
people.
a
And
breath of fresh
watching
air.
the first two films and knowing that James Gunn wrote a lot of their dialogue in Infinity War, you can tell that they, more so than a lot of the other films in the MCU, these ones are like a particular guy's creation, his baby, his vision, and probably the filmmakers that Disney approached recognize that, and they're like,
For sure.
you can't just do that. That's that's a sacred thing.
I mean, we would try and think of directors that would take over him, and even we struggled. We had some names that were like, yeah, that could work, but at the end of the day, it's still not going to be James Gunn's vision.
So I feel like Disney was just like, oh my god, just be nice, go back. We got to get him back. We don't have any other choice.
But kudos to Warner's for picking him up.
yeah,
Like,
they swooped
That's
right in on
actually-
that.
and like got him. And
That's actually the best part is that he can do both projects.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, he's
Yeah.
staying on the Suicide Squad.
And I think this is going to be great for fandom in general. Like, I think this could be a
Right.
really good sign that, like, hey, it's not having to be such a really die-hard toxic competition. Like, we can
Us
enjoy
versus
both
them.
and we can not enjoy
Right.
both for whatever reasons you may have. But, like, the fact that a guy that's so genuine and so great like James Gunn is able to handle both of these properties, like I think that's a really cool
It was
story.
pretty
in
rocky
itself.
road for him, but I think now he's looking back. He's like, I wouldn't change a thing.
No.
I mean,
I get to finish
he's
my
gonna get
baby.
paid a lot of money to do superhero movies in his own vision
Yeah.
for both properties.
Yeah,
I mean,
James
the guy's
Gunn's
got
not
it
hurt.
made.
What's
So,
bad about that? You know,
I felt
So,
very bad for him a couple months ago. Now he's like on top of the world again.
Props
I
to
felt
Disney
bad.
too for doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would go back on it, but they actually
I thought
did.
they were gonna be too stubborn.
Yeah,
Me too, for sure.
very big
I
surprise.
just felt bad because I felt it was assassinating the character of what everybody says was a good person. Now, I don't know him personally, but when your cast comes out and other directors come out, no one's like circling the waters trying to like feed off your carcass or anything. I think that those are all good signs that you probably legitimately have made friends in the industry. You were a nice guy, had a great vision, employed a lot of people. You just had a lot of support.
And even if you did have, I guess not demons, but if you did have some shady waters in your history and you were able to overcome that and people recognize that, like I think that's also a good thing for people to be able to do.
Didn't we say, like in our first podcast, I remember saying, wouldn't it have been so much better for Disney and how much better they would have looked as a company if they said, hey, by working with us, James Gunn is not the person he used to be.
Yeah, we recognize that people can.
We can change, but that
Yeah.
they could have even spun it like he changed because he got into our organization. We have good values, we have good morals, and we put that on the screen. And we don't.
There are a million
people
ways
work
they
for
could have
us.
tried to go about that, and they picked probably one of the
worst.
ones. And it took them a while to realize that they kind of screwed up.
I don't think it took them very long. I just think they
were
had,
probably
I
like,
think they realized immediately that they messed up.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, whoa, what just happened? But it's good. And I think the timing is good. They needed some good news after their merger. They're going to probably be laying off a lot of people. So
Yeah. One or two.
but yay, we got James Gunn back, guys.
Yeah, that's very good news for Guardians
Yeah.
3, which is now coming out in 2020, I believe. So that's a ways away.
Maybe. I don't know. I read somewhere that they were pushing back the production
I thought it was
until like
2021.
They weren't even going to start production until 2021.
So then
Because
would
he's
it be
got to
released
go.
in
He's got to
2022?
get through Suicide Squad now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know.
He's
I
not
just
even
think
started
he's
production on
back
that
on.
yet.
He's back on, but
Right.
the production date is up in the air now.
Oh,
It was
I thought-
originally supposed to be a 2020 release, yeah. And as far as I know,
I thought
don't-
they confirmed that was 2022. Maybe I read that wrong.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, anyway, it's going to be coming out
Right.
a few years down the road, but I'm still excited.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And speaking of a twist and a turn in superhero stuff, the long-awaited Flash movie.
That
Ezra
never
Mi-
had a name, did it?
Yeah. No.
An official
No.
name. It was
No.
just that Flash movie they're making.
I
Yeah.
mean, there was rumblings that was going to be a Flash movie based on the Flashpoint comic book series, but I think that's fallen through. I don't think they're
Right.
going to do
Well,
that
it
now.
was definitely will have fallen through if we go with
Right. So
Ezra Miller's
Ezra
version.
Miller, who plays the Flash in Justice League, wants to write the script for the new Flash movie in an attempt, I think, to make it grittier and darker from the direction they're going to go,
Which,
which
you
is
know,
more
I
of an
mean-
Aquaman direction.
Correct.
DC
'cause-
kind of tried the dark and gritty route before.
didn't
didn't really work out that well.
Well, that's the funny thing. He was trying to be the
yeah.
funniest person in Justice
Of
League.
all the characters,
when
if you're gonna go back to dark and gritty, you go back to dark and gritty with the Flash.
Yeah, it doesn't. That part doesn't quite add up. Now, the one reason why I think he would want to do that is because he's still attached to the vision that Zack Snyder probably presented him with, because he was hired
Maybe,
when Zack was
yeah.
still around.
Yeah.
But even still, like the new direction, I feel like you should recognize that they want to go in the director's
Right.
direction of it being more
Or
lighthearted,
the
which makes
studio's
sense.
direction, which is what they kind of tasked James Wan with.
Yeah.
With
yeah, and
Aquaman?
Aquaman proved
Aquaman,
that
yeah.
people show up to that.
And I think what's going to happen is he going to present a script, and then if Warner's is like, no, this is not the direction we want to go in, is he just out?
Well, that's what I don't know, because like the Hollywood Reporter's one who broke it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And essentially, Warner Bros. Is kind of it's like, okay, fine, Ezra, you can write your script. We'll take a look.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So he got some comic book writer, Grant Morrison, to,
Which that's pretty
to come on
impressive.
board with him to help him write it. And apparently, maybe he's already been working on the script or something just on his own,
Right.
because they said that it could be submitted in as soon as like a few days. So yeah, they're
probably
gonna,
been
they're
worked
gonna
on for a
present
while.
it to Warner Bros. If Warner Bros. Likes it, which I don't think they will, then they'll go with it.
I'd be surprised, but maybe given the comic book writer that's attached.
Maybe, but I have
might...
a feeling that it's Ezra writing it, and he's just wants that guy to kind of proofread him. Maybe who knows?
If they did go with Ezra's script, I think that would mean that the directors John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein would step out of the project because
they
their
usually
vision
write
is
their own.
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
as well,
They're the ones that they wrote and directed Game Night last year, and then they also wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, and so they know how to like step in the realm of lightheartedness, I feel like. And so if Warner's is attached to that, then they're on board. But I feel like
it sounds like
Ezra
they are
goes,
attached to their version.
Yeah, if they did end up being attached to Ezra's version, which I don't think will happen, then I could see them looking for another director, which that would be even more annoying.
Reading into it, it sounds like they were all set on this thing, but sometimes movies just sit in limbo for a while.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening. Sounds like Ezra was getting annoyed or impatient, and he probably didn't like their take anyways. He's like, I'm an actor. I have no way of knowing that. But I don't know. It sounds like they were already set to go with the other version, but they just kind of threw him a bone. So it may not be that big of a story, but it could end up in Ezra maybe.
I really want to see an Ezra Miller Flash movie. Like
I do too.
After Aquaman, I really wanted that. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Flash were my 3 favorite characters, obviously. I mean, I'm just leaving out Batman and Superman, but I got enough Batman, Superman. Oh, and Cyborg. I guess I'm leaving out him because I forgot about him completely.
Poor guy.
I'm just saying, the other
poor
ones
guy.
were really good. I've got my Wonder Woman. I've got my Aquaman. I just would feel weird having a different Flash. Like, that's the Flash that I was exposed to, and I like him as Flash.
You can go.
I just wonder how much Warner's cares, because they've kind of quietly, unofficially abandoned that whole shared universe thing.
Yeah, that was my point.
Aquaman didn't really connect. I mean, I still haven't seen it, but Aquaman didn't like necessarily go out of its way to connect to anything else or set up like a bigger thing.
No,
yeah, that's right.
Not at all. It was just awesome in itself.
It seems like Henry Cavill is out as Superman,
and Ben Affleck is definitely
out as Batman.
So I don't think they're afraid to pull
they're
the
really,
trigger on
they're
Ezra
not
Miller.
super attached to the faces
to him,
of the
I love
characters, just because those were the faces that were in Justice League.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm just saying personally, I don't want to see another Flash.
No, it would be jarring
Ezra
for sure.
Miller
but
a lot.
Who knows?
Yeah, I think with the way that DC is now handling their properties after Justice League, I would be fine with a new Flash. I do like the casting of Ezra, but I think it'll be understandable to move on and find a different guy to do it.
It's not like Warner's isn't going to have a relationship with him. He is going to continue to be a main person in the Fantastic Beasts.
They really like
so
him there.
I think
they're
trying to keep a good relationship with him because
that's probably why they told him go ahead and write the script to humor him.
At least give him an opportunity to present it. I don't
Has he
think there's
ever written
anything wrong with
anything
that.
before?
I don't think so.
I have no idea. Maybe his own.
Maybe he's multi-talented.
Maybe
we don't know
he's a
about it yet.
poet. He's probably a poet.
Where are you going with this? Just say it. Come on.
No, I'm not going to do the rhyme. I'm just saying.
I
Based
thought
on
that's where
like
you were
that one,
going.
maybe it was a Rolling Stone interview with him or something. He's an interesting dude.
Oh yeah,
With
he
his-
definitely is.
I imagine
His
him writing
farm in
poetry in
Vermont.
his little moleskin. Yeah, his commune.
I don't know
Commune
about
farm in
I don't know
Vermont.
about the commune one. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Well, I mean, good luck, Ezra, but
It better be a really good
enjoy
dark
the
and gritty
costume,
script.
I
Yeah.
guess. It better be a heck of a script then, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how that goes out.
Well, some films that did get greenlit and made are releasing
And
their
are being advertised.
Yeah, they released some trailers this week.
Yeah,
So-
I think 3 pretty. I mean, I liked all of these trailers
Yeah.
a lot.
Well,
So
let's start with the fun, lighthearted one of Toy Story 4. We actually got the story
it's
that's
fun and
going to happen
lighthearted,
in
but
this
still
one.
really sad.
So Woody, it starts out where Bonnie, Woody's human, makes a new friend.
His new owner,
Yeah, his new human makes a friend, Forky.
who we all saw in
Yeah.
those like teaser things.
Right.
I don't belong here.
Yeah,
He's in
Forky
a
is having.
perpetual existential
Oh, I
crisis.
love him. I love
He
him
doesn't know
already.
why he was created or outside of his purpose. He thinks he's a spork and not a toy. So he tries to literally abandon ship.
Tries to kill himself.
No, he just wants freedom. Okay,
He jumps out a window.
He doesn't
and
want
seems
freedom.
to
He doesn't
have
know what he
lived.
would do
Yeah.
with freedom. He doesn't know what he's
was
going to do.
looking
Period.
He said he was looking for a bowl of chili.
That's right. He
freedom.
did say that. He's meant for bowls of chili.
He's meant for bowls of chili.
He's not going to find that.
So
chili.
Woody, recognizing that this is Bonnie's new favorite toy, goes after him, and then gets on the adventure of a lifetime, and is really faced with, what do you do? What is your life going to be like after you're human? Or is there a life for a toy after a human child? Yeah,
what is your purpose? Because obviously, that's one thing I didn't really think about the first time I watched the trailer. But, for the first 3 Toy Story movies, Woody, he's Andy's favorite toy. There's a little bit where he thought, he's being replaced with Buzz. But Woody was always his toy. But now here in Toy Story 4, Bonnie owns them all now. But he is by no means her number one toy,
right,
like he used to be with Andy. He's now kind of one of the sideline supporting toys, and Forky is that one. So it's just kind of, I don't know. I'm really interested to see what they do with Woody when he doesn't have somebody to live for, or like exclusively.
Toy Story 3 was definitely like the conclusion of living with Andy, living on the human side of things. It's learning about growing up and leaving behind your toys, I guess, but just remembering like the memories that you've had with those toys. But here with this one, it kind of looks like it's going to be from the side of a toy. Like after your child becomes an adult and doesn't need you anymore, what are you going to do?
It's kind of, what do you do?
Afterwards?
How much
so
do you owe?
Their conclusion.
How much do you owe to others versus how much do you owe to yourself? And that's kind of where Bo Peep comes into the picture, because she's been off living on her own for who knows how long, fending for herself.
But creating a life.
I forgot about Bo Peep until she showed up in the trailer, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, when I rewatched Toy Story 3,
wasn't in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, when I rewatched that, and they were like, "We know we've lost a lot of friends along the way, even Bo Peep." It's like, oh god, that's so sad.
Poor Woody. He was in love with her.
And now she's back.
She is back. The animation is so much different. It's once I saw how Bo Peep looks now as before to in the beginning, like there's such a big difference in terms of how the animation is used now. It's crazy. And that was also kind of fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the trailer. I loved everything about the trailer. Did you guys?
No.
I mean, we'll get to. Well, let's hear about Cody's reasoning.
No, let's hear about the Love Fest first, and then reality will hit.
It's not reality.
I think it was a perfect conclusion in Toy Story 3, so I hope this one is also a good conclusion in Toy Story 4.
It was, but they found a totally logical, realistic way, compelling to me, like way to keep the story going, because Woody fulfilled his purpose with Andy, but does he have a purpose to himself?
And I hope that payoff is it's due.
Yeah, he's never been able to just think about what he wants or what he's supposed to do now, what's next for him, because he fulfilled his role. So that's why I'm excited, because the Toy Story movies have always been about Woody. Like Buzz is he's in obviously all of the side supporting characters are in them, but when you go back, Buzz is he's pretty much a supporting character the whole time. It's Woody's story. So
I think this trailer makes it very much Woody's story.
For sure.
And I don't know, I'm just really excited to see where they go, because just like the other 3, they're obviously getting at some very, very serious and emotional things that only Toy Story can do, and I have full faith in them. So Cody, what did you think?
You don't like Tom Hanks.
I got frustrated that he jumped out the window, and I just am like,
I don't think there'd be a story.
I know.
There's no other. There's no way, no universe where Woody wouldn't do that.
I know. That's frustrating.
What would Woody do? Jump out a moving window?
Because he's too pure-hearted. He's too pure of soul.
He's dumb and annoying.
Sometimes you gotta be. Sometimes when you love somebody, you're dumb.
Maybe, but he wasn't thinking.
Loyalty and unconditional love makes people do crazy things.
There was no hey, let me think about consequences. No, not at all. Just goodbye.
Because
how is that a bad thing?
He's so loyal to his people.
Yes.
I don't know. I just find that kind of storytelling bothers me.
You mean when characters don't make perfectly logical decisions? Yeah. That's not what people do.
Not even well thought out ones.
People don't make logical decisions.
I never connected with Toy Story.
Oh,
and
we know.
This is just not helping.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really not helping for you. Not even the power of Tom Hanks can sway you, huh?
No.
Wow.
The power of the Beach Boys.
It broke my heart in the trailer when you saw Bonnie realize that her toys were gone and that she was very upset. I'm like, see what you did, Woody? You could have just let Sporky go.
In all fairness, he didn't ask the toys to come with him.
Yeah.
It's true. They follow him because they believe in him.
If one toy is
they
missing,
respect
you can
him.
get
Do they all
by.
follow him, or
Yeah,
They go
they
after
respect him.
Buzz just jumps out?
They pull a Toy Story 2 and try and find him again.
I don't know.
Actually, yeah, they did pull Toy Story 2. I think the majority of people are really going to enjoy this trailer, and it's
they
going
already
to crowd
do.
the
Yeah,
theaters.
it's
For sure.
people are going crazy for it.
Yeah. Now that we finally have a little bit more to digest on this,
I
we have more of a clue.
I like the direction, the idea of trying to figure out what life is after being the toy. Like, I always feel like the big ideas are great in the movie. I just never really cared for the toys.
I never cared for the toy part, but I love the story.
I know.
And the numbers are nice too.
Yeah.
4. Well,
Yeah.
the majority of people, and not besides Cody, are
Besides
going to
me.
enjoy this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't have to like every Disney
No, you
Pixar
don't.
movie out there.
Except for No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, you're right. Not everyone is everyone's favorite, of course, but
Right.
you know, there's a ton of people that are going to want to go back to this, no matter what their age is.
I've made a long, slow, gradual journey to being excited for this movie. Because, like most people, it's like, oh, what?
Good. You
3
can-
was the perfect ending.
You can take my kids to it then.
3 was the perfect ending. They don't need to do another one. And then it got scrapped and rewritten. I'm like, oh no,
You
what's
take my
happening
son.
with this
He
thing?
likes popcorn, M&Ms, and water. So just
Those are good things to have.
yeah. So you can do that.
But now here I am, psyched out of my mind for it.
Nice.
Yay.
Should we go to the next trailer then that came
Yeah,
out?
also a movie that I'm psyched out of my mind for.
So Quentin Tarantino is back with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
His 9th film.
Night film, and it follows who does it follow?
Let's see. I'll read
TV
the
star
official synopsis.
Rick Dalton, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and longtime
just did
stunt
not care.
double
No,
Cliff.
she just charged right on through.
She just totally.
Eric,
was
what
like,
does
Eric's not
Rick
even
and Cliff
here.
do? What adventure do they go on?
Oh, probably a lot.
Yeah.
They're just
They're gonna
trying. They're just trying to stay
they're gonna Stop
relevant.
Manson from killing people.
I'm sure Manson he'll just like show up in a couple scenes and he'll be really kooky.
Who plays Manson? Do we know?
I
Some
forgot
guy
his
who's
name.
also playing Charles Manson in season 2 of Mindhunter, but I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I'll look up. I'll try and find
Look it
his
up.
name for you guys.
But yeah, I think you see him for a split second at the end of this trailer.
You do, yeah. There's
You
a quick
do?
shot of him.
Yeah, Charles Manson. He doesn't have
I
the
didn't-
swastika carved into his forehead
Oh, maybe
yet,
that's why I
but-
didn't recognize him.
I mean, he looks
He's
pretty-
not my Manson.
not my Manson.
You shouldn't. No, we don't support that. We don't. We here at Off the Break podcast do not support Manson.
No, I love
the
it.
things he
My
did.
Creepy looking Manson
I love
guy.
this trailer. It's been way too long since I've seen Leo's face on the screen, and hearing him and Brad Pitt fire off Quentin Tarantino dialogue just made me so happy.
I am so surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm still just kind of shocked, like at the chemistry between Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio. Man,
Yeah.
they're charismatic on screen together, and then they just play off each other, and it's I don't know. Those two are true movie stars,
Oh, yeah.
and having them together is explosive. I think on screen.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer doesn't really tell you much about the story still, because we
No.
don't really know, other than it's just kind of an ensemble, kind of just about LA in 1969. It's not about the Manson murders. There's no way that's going to be the focus. But you see lots of different things. You see Bruce Lee in this trailer.
About
Brad Pitt,
his lethal fists.
his lethal weapons.
If I hit you, I will kill you. And then I will go to jail.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a bunch of snippets from highly entertaining looking scenes, and it doesn't tell you about the story, but it tells you about kind of the tone, like the mood of the movie.
The tone and the characters. And
That's all I needed. I am so in.
I told you guys earlier after I watched the trailer, I was like, I like Quentin Tarantino in really small doses. I have a hard time getting through a whole movie of his. Just the violence and stuff
Maybe
catches
this
up
one will
with
turn
me.
you around.
But I actually kind of got excited about this trailer. I was like,
Yeah, it's because it's a great trailer.
because it's Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'm like, oh, maybe Quentin got me on this one.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of other people in this movie. My God.
Yeah, there's a terrific cast involved in this. Speaking of which, Damon Harriman is Charles Manson.
Okay. That last scene though with Leonardo DiCaprio and his like
That was the
outlaws.
best
scene was
acting
Western.
I've ever seen in my life.
That last scene, like, it's supposed to be for laughs, but it really does show how good he is as
Well,
an
it's for
actor.
laughs, but it's you can tell. Yeah, in that scene, Rick Dalton genuinely believes that. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
His eyes
Because,
tear up a little
You know,
bit.
his whole character, the whole point of his character is that he's like a dwindling TV star
Yeah.
or movie star. I can't remember, Western
Mm-hmm.
TV star whose glory is fading. He's probably having his own existential crisis about that.
Yeah, definitely.
He's like, oh, I need my next big role. I need a big break.
yeah,
So when he hears a little thing like that from the next generation, oh, it just brings tears to his eyes.
yeah, exactly. I was just happy to see for a teaser them just showing like Brad Pitt and Leo doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it already makes me so excited. Like I don't know much about the script. Like
No,
it
nobody
didn't
knows
even
anything.
showcase like all of the actors that are involved in this, and there's a lot of good ones in there too. But just those two alone are plenty of good reason to go and check this out.
I think this one, I usually am put off by like how violent his other movies are. And that's always kind of hard for me to stomach. I just really don't like super violent movies.
There's definitely a taste that you have to have when
Yeah.
it comes to Tarantino.
And so, but I think this one, if it's not too incredibly violent for the murder part and stuff at the end, like if that's not too terrible, I think I
Well-
can maybe enjoy it. I really want to see it at a theater. That's where you're meant to see it.
Yeah.
But the part of me is like, oh, I don't want to fast forward through the really like violent scenes,
No.
so I can enjoy the
It's
rest
all or
of it.
nothing.
Ugh.
You
I don't
have to
know.
think that maybe Brad Pitt and Leo like go after Manson and kill him or something.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
They'll
just
probably
the-
save Sharon Tate's
in
life.
the most inglorious bastards way possible, or like I would be down
with
for that.
with a bat.
I mean, sure.
Yeah, who knows what he's gonna do?
Yeah.
Like I said, nobody knows anything about what this movie's like specifically about.
Just reminded me what a great filmmaker he is. Like he
Yeah.
really truly
Yes.
is.
Well, it's one of those.
A great
It's
filmmaker.
What a
one of
great
those
writer
things.
he is.
Few
Yeah.
few directors can get this much buzz about a movie purely just on their name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knows what it's about.
On their name and their casting choices.
Yeah, but you have to be Quentin Tarantino to get a cast like this.
Right.
Oh my God.
Handpick. You know, like I want you, you, and you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So now
pretty much what he
everyone's-
did. Like when the initial
yeah, no one's gonna
casting
turn
was
him
coming
down.
out. Like no one said no.
But now everybody's just waiting, crossing their fingers. Hopefully, he can finish editing it in time to premiere it at the Cannes Film Festival.
Ooh.
So
Oh yeah,
Not
I didn't know he was going to
CinemaCon
that
next
one.
week.
no,
Darn.
good try.
Good try. That is
Oh, man,
the
if
only
it was
con we
there.
care about here. The American one.
The American one.
well, I mean,
And then finally we. What?
is that okay?
Anyways, Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood looks spectacular. And it comes out
July 26th.
Yeah, so I can see that having some legs and playing
Yeah, they had to
through.
change the release date from coinciding on like the 40th anniversary of the Tate murders. But
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
I forgot
that was
about that
originally what he
story.
wanted the release date to
Yeah.
be. And Sharon Tate's family were like,
Please don't.
"Eh." He's
That,
like, okay.
that one kind of stings.
I thought it was kind of funny.
And they were like, we.
But
did
he
not.
changed it, no problem. So,
Shouldn't
And
be
tried.
no harm.
it'll be good and be in theaters.
and our last trailer is
Yep.
John Wick.
John
3
Wick.
Parabellum.
This trailer's awesome.
Parabellum.
So
I don't know.
Eric,
Parabellum.
who is in John Wick? Parabellum.
Everybody's favorite, Keanu Reeves, of course.
Ah.
Finally showing his age, though.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. I mean,
Little-
if you were in
little
John
gray
Wick's
in that
position
beard.
at the start of this movie, I mean, John Wick doesn't get stressed because, you know,
He's cool
But-
under pressure.
he's
I
cool
would know.
under
It
Is
only shows
John
in the
Wick cool
hair.
under pressure,
Yeah. Nothing gets to John Wick.
except puppies.
It's not just a puppy.
It's not just a puppy.
John Wick 3, Parabellum. It's
Synopsis.
not just a puppy.
Synopsis. In this third installment of the adrenaline-fueled action franchise, super assassin John Wick returns with a $14 million price tag on his head and an army of bounty hunting killers on his trail. After killing a member of the shadowy International Assassins Guild, the High Table, John Wick is excommunicado, but the world's most ruthless hitmen and women await his every turn.
So, the bounty for this super assassin is only 14 million. Does that seem a little low to you guys?
Seems a little low because
I
we
don't
see
know
so many
anything-
movies where
yeah.
people are like, we gotta break in and steal the $500 billion
Yeah.
stack of cash. But, you know, $1 million is a lot of money.
Those assassins
Yeah,
have
but-
to
but
have
this
any
is
sort
like-
of cash.
But everybody knows how many people he killed before. So, like,
Yeah, but he did all of that
14
the way he
seems
was
a little
supposed to.
low. I don't know anything about John Wick. I've never seen the movies, but after watching that trailer, I feel like as many people as he killed, you need to spend more than $14 million to get.
If you have more than that, it gets hard to launder the money because I can't imagine what they're doing is strictly legal. So they got to keep, so they're modest amounts.
I can't imagine the assassins are doing anything strictly
Kill a
legal.
dude, get a couple $1 million.
think
That seems reasonable.
I don't think it matters when it's foreign bank accounts and wire transfers.
Yeah.
I'm
Who
sure
knows?
they can get $14 million 2 or 3 times over quickly.
But part of it probably is also a prestige thing because the assassin who can kill the John Wick, the boogeyman, he has another nickname.
His nickname's the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
So he killed somebody called the High Table.
I can't remember if that was his name or
No,
that's
that's
a
the guild.
a guild he was part of. But
He was a member
basically,
of the guild.
he was another member in this big collective of assassins and people like that. Because he made a blood oath to that guy, and then that guy came back to say like, "Okay, Wick, it's time for you to fulfill your blood oath." And John Wick's like, "No, I can't do this anymore. I need out." And the guy's like, "You can't do that." And John Wick's like, "I don't care."
Whoa, he turned his back on a blood oath?
Yes. He refuses
Cody, I make those all
to
the time,
fulfill
and
the
I
blood oath.
never say no to that.
How he deserves to die.
But yeah.
For more than 14 mil.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending of the second one is just so good. But
Yeah,
it's
it's
basically
awesome.
all of the assassins everywhere in New York getting the alert on their phone that like the bounty's going live in like however many minutes, and John Wick's just
Like
like
24
where do I
hours or
go? I need to
something.
escape New York City.
And I that's all I want. I don't care how much the bounty is. I don't even remember who he killed. I just want to see Keanu Reeves kill people, and that's exactly
we're
what
gonna
we're
see him
getting
kill
to like
so
the
many
next
people.
level.
Because I mean that's always been the
It'll be so
joy,
much
like
fun.
the selling point of these movies. They have incredibly simple stories that are immediately clear. You know the type of character he is. What is important to him, and then they just have the most amazingly directed and choreographed action scenes.
It's some of the
you've ever
best in
seen.
recent years, that's for sure.
Because who would have thought that if you just take the camera and step back and let the people do the cool stunt work, that it would look a lot cooler than, waving the camera
hate your
around
camera.
What
5
a
inches from their
weird
face.
concept.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought that? It's just funny that when the first John Wick came out, people like did not know what this was. It was like they released like their official trailer like a month before its release, and they were like, "This is gonna be bad," and there's like no marketing here. And then it blew up and became a money maker because it was so good. And now like each movie keeps getting better and better because they get more money and they get more great talents to be a part of this project, and the action
Angelica
still looks
Houston?
amazing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, they never lose their, that self-awareness because the first movie, like just the idea of them killing his puppy and him just going on a murderous rampage, it's a little bit kind of funny. Like it's a little bit funny that they killed this super badass's little puppy, but the way the movie shows it to you is like, yeah, it's a little crazy that he's going that he's reacting this way, but the puppy meant this much to him,
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they even bring up the puppy in the trailer
Yeah.
in the third movie. They're like, "Oh, this for a puppy."
That is what I
Angelica
keep asking. I'm
Houston.
like, all this for a
Love
puppy?
her.
I mean,
It's
I love
not.
it, but
The puppy represents so much.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I never really wanted to see the first one or the second one.
That is a shame.
I just nothing about it appealed to me. But this trailer actually looked good. Like there felt like there was more story there and like mystery, and I didn't know if he was gonna get out alive. Like I'm kind of anxious over it. Like, is he
You
gonna
gotta
get
see
out
the
alive?
first
I mean, if it's selling like the audiences such as yourself that haven't seen this yet, then it might help the franchise even more.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think it really
pretty good to
That's
hear.
what I'm
Exploded.
thinking because, John Wick is. I wouldn't say it's a cult movie because I'd say it's bigger than a cult movie at this point.
Yeah.
But the second one was bigger than the first one. The first one was a sleeper hit, and so now people are like on the John Wick hype train.
Yeah, people are becoming more knowledgeable about John Wick.
and they're
it
like,
seems
"Oh man, we got to see this."
Yeah.
I like the addition of Halle Berry. I feel like the more female characters that were in it, it was easier for me to like kind of get excited about it
Yeah.
too.
And I haven't seen Halle Berry in a movie in a while. I
Not a
don't
good
think
one.
Since
so.
Days of Future Past for me.
Yeah, that was like the last thing that I've seen her in that I liked her performance in. Yeah, so hopefully it looks like she's gonna do a great job in this one,
Oh, yeah.
which I really am happy to see.
I do hope that it's. I mean, I don't know. I don't care one way or the other because I'm sure the movie will be great. But I still want it to be like John Wick's like final thing, you know?
Right.
Because his whole thing is trying to find redemption, which he now doesn't believe that he will ever get or deserve because of the puppy, because that was, you know, everything to him. So I wonder, like, if he'll die at the end, or if he'll finally be able to get out of this organization. But even if he does get out, what the hell is he gonna do?
Yeah.
Where's he gonna go? He doesn't have anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He had the puppy.
But now that's gone.
Yeah.
He has that other dog, though. I like that dog.
Yeah, I do like that dog too.
He
We saw it
has
rip out that
another
one guy's
dog?
balls.
Yeah, in chapter 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he gets it at the. I think he gets it at the end. Maybe he already has it in the beginning. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think,
haven't seen the second one in
he
a
just
while.
shows up with another one.
Is that the one that's like following him in the rain?
Yeah, this thing it's a
Yeah.
pit bull.
I was wondering where that dog came from.
Yeah, it's like a step up from his little. I think
Halle
it's a
Berry
Jack Russell
has-
Terrier.
Has like Halle Berry has like attack dogs because one went for a guy's crotch. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, ooh, ow.
That shot was awesome.
Oh,
Poor
there's gonna
stunt
be
guy, too.
So many awesome shots in the
Bridge
movie.
scene with the ninjas. Oh, that's going to be
Oh yeah.
killer.
And
So good.
when they're in that place where he's like throwing knives on the guy, and the guy has like 4 or 5 knives in his chest, and he's still throwing them. I'm like, how many knives can you fit in this guy?
I just want to watch them again.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm super
I
excited.
might actually have to watch them. My husband will be very excited.
They're so great.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, do we think that this one's going to be like even bigger in terms of box office success as compared to the second
Oh, yeah,
one?
I think
'Cause,
so.
Yeah.
Easily.
I mean, if it's convincing people like Cody
Oh
who
my
haven't
God.
seen the franchise to be
Yeah.
at least interested in it, I have to think that.
What's crazy is when I'm finding out there's enough story that I might need to actually watch the movies to know what's
Oh, yeah.
happening. I would
Like,
never
the
thought
first
that
one-
would be a thing.
The first one's about John Wick, and it kind of just establishes his ability to just
Yeah.
kill everything. And then the second movie, you realize that it's this whole organization of these types of people, but that John Wick is like legendary status. Every assassin knows John Wick. They know that he's the top of the top. And then he goes against everything. And so now the third one will, you know, see if he can
Tear down
take
the
it
whole
all
thing.
on himself and come out alive. Oh, I love it. So excited. 3 great trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed it this week.
2.5.
3.
3.
3 great
2.5.
trailers.
3 great trailers.
All right, so what do
2
we
and
got?
3/4.
What do we got next then?
Us is our new release, which
Yeah.
you were able to see. The
Oh,
I
it's
know.
my turn.
yeah, you got to
saw
see the early.
show. It's the only major release this week.
Mm-hmm.
So give us your take. What's going to happen with us this weekend?
I think it's gonna kill this weekend because I think there's gonna be a lot of excitement for Jordan Peele's follow up. There's gonna be a
Peele?
big, as we know him here, Jordan Peele. God, yeah. There's gonna be a lot of excitement, but a lot of intrigue because people are excited to see his follow up from Get Out.
and
But
people are
there's
probably just hungry for a good horror movie.
exactly, yeah. But there's also the intrigue because no one knows if he's cemented himself yet as like being a
Yeah.
consistent.
That sophomore
great
slump
horror-
catches an awful lot of people.
Exactly, but I don't think the sophomore slump happens with him. I
Yeah.
really do
He
love
escaped it.
this
He
movie.
He evaded it.
Yes.
Nice.
And I want to preface this where people going in to see us do not expect this to be like another Get Out. And if you get disappointed by that, I'm sorry, but this is a different horror movie that he's doing. Like, it's still going to make you think, but not in a political sense, but rather just in a psychological
Yeah.
realization of yourself as a person as well as
he's-
people around you and just in the world in general.
Yeah, he said numerous times, you know, we are our own worst enemies. It's
Yeah.
kind of the theme he's exploring with this movie.
Yeah, and you are able to understand that theme as the movie goes on. But no, this, I mean, it's scary. It's not the scariest movie I've seen, but there's still enough that will get under your skin and it will have you keep thinking as the mystery that's happening in the movie keeps going on. And some of it you're going to be able to understand as the movie ends. You'll be able to understand like the overall mystery behind it, but there's still so many extra levels and layers that Jordan Peele clearly crafted to make you have to think about these
I'm
different
sure
layers.
it'll work great on multiple viewings.
Exactly. And I actually would recommend people to go see it more than once. Not just because it'll be a fun time in the theater, but because there's a lot to digest and think about. That's just what makes this movie all the more special. Like I have to give props to Jordan Peele. Like he clearly is able to understand how to make a good horror movie for a wide audience, but also be able to take it another step further and be able to craft like deep hidden meanings and subject matters that are really making these movies all more interesting.
Do you think it's more straight up horror slasher?
No.
Or is it still psychological?
It's half and half. It's half psychological, half slasher. Mm-hmm. And I think some people are seeing the trailer as just being a straightforward horror movie and may get turned off.
Oh yeah, it looks like a home invasion movie. That's what it
and
looks
it
like.
is. There, and it definitely is in
Are they
spurts.
on vacation or are they actually in their?
I think they're on vacation.
Home?
They're on vacation in Santa Barbara. No, Santa Monica, I believe. They're on vacation. Yeah, I mean the one final thing I want to say is that Lupita Nyong'o is terrific.
Oh, I'm sure she kills it.
She does a way better job than you'll expect her to. I mean, she's very talented, but for a horror movie, you don't expect, really great performances out of these types of movies usually, but Lupita really kills it in this movie. She is by far the one that anchors the movie, and as well as just the overall standout. And she plays a dual role as well in this movie, and even the other side is incredible.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I loved Get Out, but I loved it so much more the second and third time I watched it.
I did too.
So.
Yeah. And I would suggest doing the same with Us. Like, you're going to like it at the first viewing, but if you have like more questions and you just want to go back and just confirm the things that you're thinking about, or you just want to know a little bit more, or just want to digest the movie a bit more, I would suggest going back to theaters and trying it again.
Nice.
So you're going to see it this weekend, Eric.
I am. I'm very excited.
Kyle and I are going to go to an early show of Shazam.
Yes.
Fan
I
event.
forgot that was this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
really
have
looking
fun
forward to
with
that
that.
one too.
Oh, I will. You guys can watch the horror. I'm going to go watch Shazam.
I'm hoping,
No, I think Shazam looks pretty good.
I'm hoping the embargo lifts after I see it, so that way I can write a review and put it up on our site. But we'll see. I don't know when the embargo has lifted for that.
Because that
yet.
comes out actually on the 5th, right?
It does. April 5th.
I'm wondering if the reviews come out after the Fandango event that's going on, and that's what I'm hoping
Probably.
for.
I would think so.
Yeah, but my full review of Us is on our site, Silver Screen Insider, as well. So there's more thoughts on that.
Neutral or negative? What'd you give it?
What do you mean? I'm sorry, I
For
totally
your
blanked
review, positive, neutral, or negative?
Oh, positive by far. I mean,
I know I didn't have to ask, but I wanted this. I like to point out that we have a system on SSI with our reviews that is positive, neutral, or negative.
Yeah.
And the review guy has a face that smiles or is unhappy or neutral.
so immediately you know what you're about to get into. No, it's way on the positive side for me. Like, the one criticism I have is that I think towards the end of the movie, there's a moment where it's over-explained itself and it doesn't need to. But that may just be one's opinion. It can be interpreted, like, some people may like that it gets a little over-explained. Me personally, I didn't need it as much because I think it adds to the mystery that's going on in Us. But no, by far positive. Like, I'm gonna remember this movie for a while.
I can't wait till next week when we can talk about it after Eric's seen it.
So we can tell you the ending?
Yeah, so you can tell me what happens in it. Like, I just want to ask you, like, do the kids survive? Like,
No.
No,
Everybody
you don't think
dies.
so? Everybody dies? Well, she just said Lupita is, like, badass in it. So you think she'd save her kids?
I think she probably kills everybody and then herself.
And then herself, like...
I think with the power of Shazam, she turns into one of the greatest superheroes.
Okay,
we'll
Monday,
have to wait and see.
coming Monday, I'm going to ask you Monday morning what happened.
We'll tell you.
I'll be
just
more
super
okay
excited.
with it. Yeah, usually I don't like giving away endings for you, but I
was
know this
never gonna
one.
watch
Yeah, I
this
know
one.
this one. You're
Ugh.
not going to.
And
So
it might, like, haunt me. I really internalize that. That's why I don't like scary movies.
I think
love
this
it.
one especially you'll have a hard time with too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just from what I remember about the movie, you'll definitely
Will I
have
have
a
a hard
rough
time
going
with
with
John
it.
Wick, do you think?
No.
If I watch the first one and the second one?
No,
No. Other than when they kill
I
the
don't
puppy.
think so.
That doesn't actually bother me as much.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I feel like a horrible person for saying that, but I'm like, you hurt a baby and I'll lose my mind. But a puppy, I'm like, ooh, that sucks, but
The
it's
second
just a
one.
dog.
The
So many
emotional
babies.
payoff in John Wick didn't work for me when it comes to them killing the puppy. Like, it didn't work for me as much as it did for many other people, and for good reason. People like pets, like that's fair, but
Right.
yeah. So I understand where you're coming from.
That was his last chance at being a normal, fixed human being.
And they
when that's
took it
taken
from
from him, there's no going back.
How does his wife die?
They murder her.
They murder her? Is
No,
it
I
wrong
don't think
place,
so.
wrong time?
Isn't
Or
that-
does
Didn't
No,
it-
she
she
have
does have
cancer?
she does have like a disease or something,
Oh.
and she gets him the puppy as like a farewell gift.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's like so you can learn so you can love again.
yeah. Oh, sad. Okay, I gotta watch it now.
Yeah,
Get ready
you
for
should.
the third one.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to you actually
Yeah.
doing that. That'll be awesome.
you got some time.
Yeah, after I get through Spider-Man
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Mhm.
Yeah, for us anyway, going back to that movie, it's gonna take over Captain Marvel's spot on number one. I think.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sure.
it's at a good time where now it's gonna easily get to
Especially
that
with
number
nothing
one
else
spot.
big
You-
launching this weekend.
We'll have
it's
to
gonna
see, because next week is Dumbo. I wonder if Us will be good for 2 weeks, or if Dumbo's going to take it out next week.
has a Disney live action adaptation ever not taken number one?
Did Christopher Robin not?
I don't think Christopher.
That's not one of their remake things though.
They've only had
well, I
Beauty and the
guess.
Beast. Then, if you go by that,
Was that
Beauty and the
really the
Beast-
last one? But
Wait, what? Sorry, did I?
what
Why am
was
I
there
spacing
anything
out here?
between
What's going
Beauty
on?
and the Beast and
that's a
Dumbo?
live action remake.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Was Beauty and the Beast
because
last year?
they did Cinderella, they did Beauty and the Beast.
Jungle Book was before
Jungle
Beauty and
Book.
the Beast.
Was it was.
Yeah.
That took number one though. I don't know. I'm just basically I'm asking because I'm wondering how like
Wait a minute, that's can't wait.
bulletproof
what's going on
Disney
here?
is. You know, 'cause
Right.
it seems like their new movie always takes number one,
Yeah,
but maybe this could break that.
I don't think Christopher Robin did.
No.
Did Mary Poppins?
Yes, it did. Aquaman won.
Aquaman one. Yeah.
Oh,
it
there
got
you
to
go.
number
Yep.
one. Yeah, that's right.
That's a hard time because that's holidays. That's a
Yeah.
tough one to gauge. But
I don't know.
Aquaman
It's
is-
just because
yeah.
Dumbo's an interesting one to me. I don't know how that's going to turn out.
I think it depends on how audiences after this weekend are going to react to us. Because I think I could see a few people, or a good sum of people coming out and being like, it wasn't as good as Get Out, or I didn't like it because it wasn't a straight horror film. I could see.
Because expectations will do that to you.
Yeah, I think due to expectations, I think people may have a harder time wanting to go back or convincing people to go see Us, and I could see that hurting itself and not go 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Or
yeah,
there's just
but I
those
think this
people out
weekend
here-
it's safe.
out there like me that are like, no thank you, no
Or-
horror.
I mean, yeah, even
Bring on my
that
Shazam.
too.
We'll watch anything
Just waiting
else.
for that.
Okay.
I will go see 5 Feet Apart.
You'll
if I
be the
have
only
to.
one in the theater.
Yeah, like my private screening.
Bring tissues. Okay.
Well, that takes care of it. We're gonna have a good weekend of movies.
Oh yeah,
I'm so excited for that fan of it. I'm glad they do stuff like that. It makes me feel special. Like, oh, I'm getting to see
Do a
it
lot of people
early.
go to those?
Oh, the last one I went to
That was How to
was
Train Your Dragon, right?
yeah, and it was sold out, like
Oh.
with kids and everything. So
Must be do a good job of communicating that to the public then.
I wonder, like, I have the Fandango VIP thing. I wonder. I
Oh
don't know
yeah, they
if I
probably
got-
alert you through that or something.
Yeah, but I don't. I just knew about it, so I like looked it up and like got my ticket right away.
I got mine through Fandango, but as a guest, and I don't.
Not an adult.
Well, I mean,
They're gonna be like, and
through
who are you here with?
Fandango's, I'm not a VIP of Fandango.
Oh.
I'm just a guest on there.
Oh.
So like, I didn't hear it through that or anything.
Oh.
But anyway, I got a ticket as a child. I got to get that through. No, I'm
Yay.
kidding. I'm kidding.
You are
Well-
going to the later show of it.
Yeah,
I hope you guys enjoy it.
yeah.
will.
I'm really looking forward to that one too.
I'll be a couple theaters over,
I'll
Yeah.
wave to you.
watching probably a better movie.
Wow,
No.
really?
Just kidding.
Not at all.
Shazam. I mean, I'm very confident I will like Us more, but I think Shazam looks fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Shazam looks like a good time.
Either way, like plenty of stuff to go see.
Yeah. And then next week, we've got Dumbo, hopefully early show to maybe talk about. And then after that, it's CinemaCon, guys. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff for you, like that I'm going to be feeding Kyle and Eric.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we'll be able to get the lowdown on CinemaCon. Hopefully I get to see some great things from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, give us that initial feedback.
Maneuver your way through the awkward tension of the Disney Fox people.
Yeah, that's going to be awkward. It's fine. Maybe they'll showcase Infinity War. Probably not.
Endgame.
Yeah. Endgame, whatever. I don't
That
wanna
movie
see
I
it.
don't want to see.
Yeah. There we go.
We'll see about that.
Well, so hey guys, if you want to read the reviews that we have for the movies that we have seen, or if you guys want to see the trailers that we've talked about, or just anything else about the movies coming out in general, come on over to silverscreeninsider.com. We have all that information there, and it keeps getting updated. Plus, our podcast is on there as well as on iTunes, so spread the word about that.
Go read Kyle's review of us.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.